Jan friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the latest news of the day. Han Kuang is the name of the exercise that Taiwan will launch on 24th of July 2024. Han Kuang. What is Han Kuang about? And why is Taiwan spooked? Ladies and gentlemen, I have my complete research with me and some of the facts that have come out will shock you. Now, you're aware that the new president of Taiwan was elected by the name Lai Ching-te. And during the course of his speech, he said that he votes for Taiwanese independence and Taiwan is separate, China is separate, and Taiwan, he believes in Taiwan's sovereignty, etc. Now, this is something that the Chinese did not like. The Communist Party of China did not like, and they responded by carrying out massive military exercises around Taiwan. This is typical Chinese bullying. They've been doing it with the Filipinos. They've done it with the Japanese. They have done it with the Taiwanese. They've done it with the Australians. It's only when they try to do it against the Indians that they got a thrashing of their lifetime in Galwan. But otherwise, the Chinese have tried it with everybody. You know the recent case where they boarded a Filipino vessel with axes and with baseball bats and short knives, and then they harmed the crew and they damaged the boat and took away weapons and equipment. You're aware of that. This is exactly what China does. So China tried to do the same and China carried out massive exercises. Now, there was a change in thinking and philosophy in Taiwan. So far, all military exercises of Taiwan were limited to sending a message to China. They were more like, yes, we have aircraft, yes, we have missiles, yes, we have infantry, yes, we have tanks, yes, we have artillery, yes, we have a navy, and we have an air force, and therefore we can fight you. But this time, Taiwan changed its tactic. Now, Taiwan is singing a different tune. And the Taiwanese have told their army, the top leadership of Taiwan has told the Taiwanese Army, Navy, and Air Force that this time when you go for this exercise, please ensure it's like war. You're preparing for war. And this exercise has to be as realistic as possible. That is the entire idea behind this exercise. This exercise called Han Kuang is to simulate real fighting given a rapidly rising enemy threat from China. And a senior Taiwan defense official speaking on condition of anonymity to be able to speak more freely said there was an urgent need to rethink how the drills were conducted. So earlier, their drills were very set piece. And they were the same drills being carried out decade after decade. People would assemble here, they would do this, they would carry out their tasks. It was more like a rehearsal. Now, it has become a rehearsal for war. That is the only difference. And this is what they say. Like, for example, he says the goal isn't to score points. We want soldiers to question if this is real. We want our soldiers to question, is this even real, what you're doing? Do you think this will happen in a case of war? So, for example, they're giving the example of a vehicle, right? Let's say a vehicle breaks down. Okay? How do you address that? If there is a breakdown of a tank, how do you address that? And they're saying that in this, they will include capital Taipei too. So far, they had not been including Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, and most of the exercises were conducted during daytime. So there are a couple of changes that are happening. Very interesting exercise. Han Kuang, it's going to be launched on 22nd of July, 2024. And in Han Kuang, they're saying nighttime. Because war does not recognize night and day. The enemy does not recognize night and day. He will fight when he can. And so now they're going to do nighttime exercises. Number 2, they're going to make it as realistic as possible. Number 3, they're going to include Taipei, the capital of Taiwan. And number 4, they are saying untoward incidences. For example, a vehicle is carrying ammunition. A vehicle is carrying ammunition. Suddenly that vehicle is targeted by the Chinese Air Force. What will you do? Or it's ambushed by Chinese snipers or Chinese infantry. Or it could very well be hijacked by Chinese troops, or it breaks down. There is a breakdown. Then what do you do? All these scenarios are going to be painted, they're going to be thrown at the troops, and then the troops are going to be told to solve these scenarios in real time. I'm told there is going to be battle inoculation. There is going to be so much more that the troops actually get a taste of real combat, as real as possible. Of course, there is nobody, who will be dying in these exercises because they are simply exercises, but they're going to try and make them as tough as possible. So this is something that the Taiwanese are very interested in. And you see, additionally, China employs gray zone tactics to exhaust Taiwan, such as, this is what China does. Slowly and gradually, China will employ gray zone tactics such as sending balloons and near daily Air Force missions into the skies near Taiwan. So what China will do is try to push Taiwan as far as possible. And the way China will push Taiwan is very simple. You see, they will have an aircraft, fighter aircraft, or 3 or 4 fighter aircraft come and violate Taiwanese airspace and go back. This is typical Chinese brinksmanship, pushing the envelope, so to say. So they'll keep on pushing the envelope a little further every single day, a little further, a little further, a little further. That is what they will do, right? What the Chinese will do is they will push you to an extent where you, here you means Taiwan, where you are forced to react. You're forced to react. You'll say that, hey, this is enough, now I'm reacting. They'll wait for that small lapse in judgment where somebody will let go, a shoulder-fired SAM, a surface-to-air missile, or something, some untoward incidents that China can then play up that propaganda that we were attacked first by the Taiwanese, leading to a full-scale invasion, right? And now this is what is worrying the Taiwanese. They're saying that we need to prepare for another scenario. And what is that another scenario? The another scenario is like this. The Chinese Navy, the Chinese Air Force, and the Chinese Army, the PLA, People's Liberation Army, Air Force, Navy, they are conducting drills all around Taiwan, maybe in the Taiwan Straits, etc. They are conducting drills. And suddenly, these are exercise maneuvers, of course, and they are practicing how do we invade Taiwan, etc. And this is being done in real time with real ammunition, real weapons, everything, complete full force levels, as it would be in case of an invasion of Taiwan. Because that is how exercises are supposed to be done anyway. You make it as real as possible. Short of killing people, you make them as real as possible. That is the whole intent and idea behind an exercise. Even the Indian Army does it exactly that way. We try to make it as realistic as possible. Now, given the scenario that China is doing its exercises in and around Taiwan, right? And somebody from Beijing picks up a radio set and says to the Chinese commander who's heading this entire exercise, that single point of contact, he says, go. What happens? The PLA goes. Because then those are orders from Beijing. And Beijing says go, which means now this is not an exercise. This is war. Go invade Taiwan. And everybody is ready, all the weapons, equipment, training, everything is there, and you also have your orders. In that case, what would the Taiwanese do? They are wargaming for this scenario also, ladies and gentlemen. They are wargaming for this scenario. In the interim, what the Americans have done is that the Americans have tried to get into this entire business of, drones for Taiwan. So ships that are remote controlled, submarines that are remote controlled, fighter jets that are remote controlled, and have so many in this area that when the Chinese actually try and invade, there is a great pushback. You see, there is a great pushback, and there are these drones that keep on attacking the Chinese Army, Navy, and the Air Force, the PLA. This is what the Americans want. And why do the Americans want this? And why are the Taiwanese wargaming for that scenario? Because to arrive to Taiwan, the American forces, and if I may add, from my own NATO forces, if at all they get involved, because if America gets involved, it's natural that the entire NATO would get involved. They will take time to reach China. They will take time to reach Taiwan. In that scenario, Taiwan needs to buy time, which is why all these exercises are happening. What if that military exercise being conducted by the PLA suddenly goes live on one radio call from Beijing? How do you like this video, ladies and gentlemen? If you did, press the like button. I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another fresh video. Till then, Jai Hind.